What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Your boy is sick. I don't know if you guys could tell in the videos yesterday, but was definitely coming down with something a couple of nights ago. And yesterday I was like, yeah, I am definitely sick. I got a cold. And yeah, it's not cool right now. I guess at least it waited until after the season was over. Although for me, that's not really even much of a relief because when the season's over, I still have to make videos. So, gonna definitely be pushing through the videos today. And if there is like any breaking news today, it might take a while for me to see it because I'm probably gonna be sleeping a lot because that's really all I feel like doing. But we do have some things to talk about. I wanted to go ahead and do this video, which typically I would do like the first thing in the off season, basically just taking a look at the positional needs of the Seahawks as things stand right now. So let's take a look. All right, guys, before we go any further into the video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about my friends over at Sleeper. Sleeper is a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. Download the app to your phone. You can celebrate and chat about sports in real time with other users. You can get scores, news, and alerts with blazing fast speed. And you can play in daily fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports together. Download Sleeper today, and don't forget to use my promo code SBN for up to $100 match on your first deposit. Plus, they currently have a free $20 entry, no deposit required, just make an account. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper and have fun with sports this year. So basically, this is a video that I do pretty much every year at the start of the off season where I take a look at the roster as it is right now. I just take the roster as it is going into the new league year, and I just talk about what positions do the Seahawks have the highest needs at, what do they have medium needs at, low needs at, and then no need at, and it just kind of helps frame all future conversations concerning free agency, concerning the draft. It's also something that will change over time as we release players and as we sign players. And obviously, the goal is to get all your needs taken care of before the season starts. Now, you probably won't, but you can get close. You're going to try to get as close as you can. And this just kind of provides a starting point. So we're going to go through each need, starting with high, going all the way to none, and just see where things sit. So as of right now, I think the highest position of need is going to be running back. As of right now, if the season started in March, our running back would be George Halani, and then behind him would be Cam Akers, maybe. And only Cam Akers because we gave him a futures deal. If you're not talking about Cam Akers, then who is our second string running back? Is Kenny McIntosh ready to play yet? Maybe. That's the only one it could be. So, yeah, running back, I think, is the most important position. Charbonnet is not going to be ready for a little while. I think we all know that. And Walker is currently a free agent. So, therefore, I think running back is the position we need to hit the hardest. And the other position that I think we need to hit hard is center. Because as of right now, technically, although there isn't a big risk of losing him as long as we want to bring him back, Sundell is a free agent. And that means the only centers we currently have are Oluwatimi and I guess Federico Maranguez, but he's on a futures contract as well. So right now our only center is Oluwatimi, and I think we've learned that Oluwatimi is a backup. So technically going into 2026 right now, we do not have a real starting center on the team. And I do think we're going to retain Sundell. He's restricted, but we have to actually do it. All right, so those are the two positions I would consider to be high need as of right now. Going through the medium needs, I'm going to start with this is a little bit controversial. I could have gone low here, but I went with wide receiver. You do have JSN. You still have Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp looks like he's relatively locked in now. But currently, Shaheed is a free agent. Jake Bobo's a free agent. Derek Young is a free agent. even though I think this team is going to go relatively light at the wide receiver position in terms of usage in 2026, like they did in 2025, I'm just not in a position where I feel great about that right now. Um, Cooper Kupp was good for us in 2025, but I'm very wary of age-related regression. I think that would be a very reasonable outcome here. He does slip a little bit versus where he was in 2025, and behind him, as of right now, who do we have? We have Ricky White the third. I guess he's on a futures contract. We have Torrey Horton coming off a fairly significant injury. And I feel like that needs to be addressed fairly aggressively this offseason, even if you assume that Horton's going to be 100% by week one, because he does have a little bit of an injury problem in his career going back to college. So wide receiver next. Then I'm going with right guard. Right now we have two under contract. Anthony Bradford, who is in the last year of his deal, who we know is not very good, although he does have his moments. I'm not here to suggest that he's as bad as some people think, but he's a deeply flawed player. And then you have Christian Haynes, who I don't even know if he is a right guard at this point, and whatever he is, he's not very good at it. He clearly can't be trusted. So I think that looking at that 1-2, it's a position that we need to address. Haynes has 2 years left on his deal. Not that that really matters. I do think that Bradford will be back for 2026 as the starter, but you do need to start thinking about life after Anthony Bradford anyway, because he's going to be on a contract year. Also, that's a position where if you spent a little bit of resources into upgrading, you could feasibly get an upgrade. There are guys you could get in free agency that are going to be better than Bradford right out the box. So it's worth thinking about. Okay, the next medium need for me is edge rusher, and this is as of right now. If we release Uchenna Nwosu, which I think we should, and I think that we will, then this kind of becomes a high need. Um, I just don't think that DeMarcus Lawrence and Derek Hall is going to get it done. And behind those two guys, you have Connor O'Toole and Jared Ivey, and that's kind of it. I don't think that's going to cut it. It looks like Mafe is gone, and even if Mafe comes back, he can't really be trusted to be valuable. And overall, I think that you need to spend some serious resources into edge. You need to get some really good guys in here, because I don't want to see DeMarcus Lawrence have to play 50 snaps a game next year or something because we're thin. If we get good stuff out of DeMarcus Lawrence, I want it to be at his pace, not at the pace of the necessity of the roster being thin at the position. And the next medium need I have right now is cornerback. This is specifically outside cornerback. Woolen's a free agent. Job is a free agent. The good news is Witherspoon is going to be here for a while, and he is very clearly the how should I number the number one, and he might be the number one corner in the whole league depending on who you ask. He is up there, but we don't need to worry about the number one corner. Witherspoon is going to be fine as that going forward, but we do need a number two, and we might even need a number three. It depends on how you feel about Nehemiah Pritchett. I like Pritchett, but I don't know if he'll ever be a starter in this league, especially in a defense that requires cornerbacks to do a lot of tackling and run support. So keeping those two things in mind, you might need a third corner as well. So that's a medium need to me. And then I have safety. Kobe Bryant's a free agent. Ty Okada is technically a free agent, although he'll be easy to keep. And Nick Emanwari, while he was drafted as a safety, we clearly like him in that slot corner role a majority of the time, and we like him being able to freelance and go all over the field. So therefore, I don't really think of him as a safety right now. So the only safety we have on this team that we know is starting caliber and is under contract in 2026 is Julian Love. And Julian Love's great, but we don't even have Jarek Reed anymore, right? We don't even have what's the Bell? Oh, what's his name? D'Anthony Bell. We don't have him anymore either. So we do have one starter. We do have an easy avenue to keep Okada, but I think we need to address safety. Maybe the The only thing we need to do is re-sign Okada, but we still need to do that. Okay, low needs. These are positions where you might need to do a little bit, but I don't think it's a big deal. Left tackle, we need a backup. We don't have a backup under contract. Josh Jones is a free agent, and he played fairly well when he played this year. It is entirely possible he ends up getting a pretty decent deal elsewhere this offseason, maybe even gets the opportunity to start. So we don't really have anybody behind Jones that we feel great about. We got Amari Kite, but he's coming off an injury as well, and I don't know how much upside we see there. I would not want Amari Kite out there in a big moment. And then I guess we have Logan Brown, but he is a practice squatter and on a futures deal. So we need to think about that backup spot. Similar on left guard. We do have some guys that might be a decent backup left guard, but I don't know. Mason Richmond, Bryce Cabledew. Right now, the only thing that I know for sure is we have Gray Zabel starting, and then you've got nominally Christian Haynes is like the backup left guard, but I don't know how to feel about that. I don't think the team feels great about that. So you probably need a backup you trust, unless you really trust Richmond or Cabledew. And then we have right tackle. Abe Lucas, obviously entrenched. There's the starter, but we don't really have a backup because Josh Jones is a free agent. I guess technically one of the guys on the reserve squad could be the guy. Like I said, maybe Cabledew can play right tackle, but I don't know. So to me, that is a need just for a capable backup. Even if it's just a swing tackle to be the backup at left and right, you need to do something. I also have nose tackle. Normally I would put this higher, but it's clear this team doesn't feel like they need a true nose tackle, or they're content rolling out Brandon Peely or somebody of that caliber. So I'm not going to put this too high, but we don't really have a true nose tackle under contract in my books. When I look at the four guys we have that we clearly have some degree of excitement in, which is Big Cat, Murphy, Reed, and Mills, to me, they're all three techs. Maybe Reed is kind of a nose tackle, but even then, how much faith do you have in him having a great 2026 season at his age? And then my final low need is going to be linebacker. Drake Thomas is a free agent, although he will be easy to retain because he's restricted. And then you have Tyrese Knight, who I don't know how we feel about Tyrese Knight at this moment, but he did not have a great start to the year in 2025. Seemed like he had some health issues. Seems like it's better now. And I do like Tyrese Knight, but I think that there could be a pretty good argument made for trying to upgrade at the linebacker spot. And even if we're good with Ernest Jones, which I think that we are, there is an argument to be made for making sure you have a good backup behind him because he has battled health issues throughout some of his career. So that would be the end of my low tier. And then finally, we have all the positions where I think there's currently no need. Let's just go ahead and reveal all that now. Quarterback, we currently have 3 quarterbacks under contract for 2026. There's no room for another one. We could release Drew Lock, I guess. We could trade Jalen Milroe, I guess. But until that happens, there's no need. Fullback, we have a fullback that we seem to like at least somewhat. We have Brady Russell as well as kind of an emergency fullback. There's no need to add another fullback. One is arguably too much for most teams. Obviously, we want one, but we don't need more than one. Tight end, we've got Barner, Arroyo, and Saubert under contract for 2026. So there's really not much to say. Like, there's no room for another one. If we need another one, then we're just going to bring back Brady Russell. This is not a position we need to think about right now. Defensive tackle, like I said, you've got Big Cat, you've got Murphy, you've got Mills, you've got Reed. There's not really room for another one. This is a position where I think you can always keep stacking players and it's fine, but we don't really have room on the roster. Slot corner, you've got Eman Worry and you've got Witherspoon, who we know can play a very, very good slot corner, so there's no need for anything there. Kicker and punter are also good for the time being. Myers and Dixon are under contract. And I guess if you want to throw long snapper on as well, that's a position I didn't really think about. But right now, our long snapper Stoll is a free agent, so we're going to have to retain him. But I'm not too worried about that. All right, so that is the ranking of needs positionally as I see it right now. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys soon. More videos coming soon. Go Hawks. I'm going to push through it. I'm going to push through this illness I got. And yeah, see you guys soon. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think.